City are heavy favourites here, but Chelsea stumbled yesterday, third favourites here when it comes to the odds. And if you do look at the sides and the attacks that they have, you'd have to say, Craig, that Chelsea do have the weakest attack of the three.
Well, it's a difficult one because cities are all kind of, play. I mean, that's not weak.
OK, of the three, though, of the three teams.
Reliable goal scorers.
Well,
have they been the most underwhelming of the
City
three?
do not have a striker. They're scoring goals for fun. They do not have a striker. Well, they have Gabriel Jesus. They have a lot of attacking players. Liverpool have had Roberto Firmino out of form, and he was replaced for a bit by Diego Jota, who was excellent, who is an attacking player, not a striker. Of course, Mo Salah has papered over some of the issues that Firmino and one or two were having. But that's a great... They're three great attacking players. That's a heck of a list.
Mm-hmm. So what if I use the word underwhelming? Is it the most underwhelming of the three attacks?
And one of those players who's been injured won Serie A last year and scored a bundle of goals in Romelu Lukaku and actually started the season not bad. Those players are either injured for Chelsea or they're not performing. And that's the issue at the moment. It's not that they lack talent in that area, it's that he's lost the balance. He's had Lukaku out, Havertz did a job for a bit. I didn't like Pulisic in that role yesterday, whatever it was. I don't think it suits him with his back to play and that position. I just don't think he looks comfortable. So that's something that Thomas Tuchel is going to have to figure out. But when you look at that list, I think it's hard to say the amount of attacking options they've got. It should not be an excuse.
So how does he fix it, given that he has those attacking options? Well,
one that, obviously, as soon as Lukaku gets over his COVID issues and tests negative, I think they've got to get him back in the team. When he came back from his injury recently, he left him on the bench a couple of times, and I was like, OK, trying to bleed him in slowly. Well, that's fine if you're winning, but not when Liverpool and City are starting to put a run together and put the pressure on. I felt he needed to get him back in the team sooner rather than later, and again, I think that's what he has to do, because the others, I don't think he can trust them consistently.
He can't do an awful lot. All he can do is sort the team out from back to front to get them into positions, whether it's Werner or Mount or Reece James, as we're seeing a lot now these days. Any of those guys, he set his team up to get them in a position where they can score goals. The one thing the coach can't do is put the ball in the back of the net. And in this game, this was a great example of a team who completely dominated. I mean, Everton had 19% of the ball, really, and Chelsea only scored one goal. And they only scored one goal is because they couldn't finish.
They had 23 shots.
They could.
Burnley was the same, 25.
Reece James one-on-one with the goalkeeper, 10 yards out. Mason Mount, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, 10 yards out, had another great chance. Even Rudiger had a header that he should have scored with. I mean, listen, this could have been 4 or 5. But when you're not taking the chances, then you end up losing a goal and you don't drop points. But there's nothing Tuchel can do. He can't do anything about that.
Well, the one thing he did do particularly well, up until, it seems, a month ago, from his time coming in, was he rotated Kay on a regular basis and generally got kind of the same tune out the side. Now when he's rotating for rotational reasons or for injury or illness reasons, he's not. Kante's been a mess, Kovacic has been a mess. They're now not keeping clean sheets. The rumbling on of the contracts for Christensen and Rudiger continues into the new year. January comes around, it's only going to get messier. So they're not keeping those clean sheets anymore. The clean sheets, winning a game by the odd goal after having 75% possessions is fine, as long as you're keeping those clean sheets. When you're not, and they're not in the last month, then they're going to have to be banging the goals in like City and Liverpool. That's an issue.
It's nothing new. This is nothing new. They got where they did in the Premier League last year and won the Champions League because of what they did defensively. So really, we're looking at the wrong side of the field. It's the other side. They can't keep a clean sheet to save their life. That's the reason that they're going to slip up and maybe City and Liverpool just get too far ahead of them.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.